Hello and welcome to another episode of Coconut Chats. We hope you all are staying well and are staying safe. For those who have listened to us all this while and have given us generous feedback and love, we cannot thank you enough. We want your support with us as long as we are going on this right journey. And for those who are listening to us for the first time today, we welcome you and we really hope that you love listening to us and you have a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts for us, and we would love to get them from you. Moving on, today we're going to talk about something that currently is being talked about in major forums on major platforms, and I think we think that we need to talk about this as well because for us, nothing matters above humanity, and what joins humanity together is pure love for each other. So we're going to talk about the power of love conquering everything, and can love conquer religion as well. Getting around the table, I have with me my awesome ladies and co-moderators of the podcast. I have with me Harita.
Hello.
And I have with me Shaumita.
Hello, everyone.
All right, ladies. So let's quickly jump into the main topic. So as we've already said that we've seen a lot of these incidents happening recently. If you ladies have seen that there was this beautiful advertisement released by Tanishq, which is a very famous brand in India, which talked about interfaith marriage, but it was taken down, unfortunately, after a few days. So if we have to kind of think about that advertisement in hindsight, and which brings me to the first question, what does the concept of pure love mean to us? And we'll start the discussion with you, Harita. What does love mean to you?
I think love means finding someone who understands you for who you are. Someone that you don't have to put on an act around. You can be best friends with them, and that's how love grows. You know, for me, my husband is someone that I just say anything to, and I don't have to think about how he's going to perceive what I've said, or I don't have to think about being judged. To me, that's love in the sense of, personalities connecting. Obviously, we're talking about love between partners here, but I think the same goes for love between friends and love between family members. Love is being able to be your true self in front of them. No act, no, you don't have to wear makeup in front of them. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Yeah.
Perfect. Moving on to Shaumita, what does the concept of pure love mean to you?
Yeah, so I absolutely agree with Harita, whatever she said. Yeah, true, it holds true for me as well. And if it comes to the love between partners, then first of all, I don't believe in love at first sight. For me, love is a strong bond of friendship, companionship, and dependency that develops over the years. So it can't happen in one day. And in my view, the first criteria of falling in love is being comfortable with each other. Two people with totally opposite nature can find comfort in accepting each other. Acceptance can create wonders. And that's why they say when you fall in love, you no more are two individuals, you become one. And the sense of acceptance can break barriers and make you feel one. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I think that's what love means to me.
That's beautiful picture that you two drew about pure love. I think I'll vary a bit here, and I'll quickly kind of summarize what I have to say, because for me, pure love to me initially means self-love. If I can't love myself, I can't love anyone on this earth. And secondly, for me, pure love is recognizing a superior power. So love to me is that superior eternal power. That is like the purest form of love to me. Nothing else matters. And before I move on to the second question, I was doing a bit of reading on this, and there are so many. Now when we talk about religion, you'll be surprised, or maybe you guys have also read that all the scriptures, when they talk about love, they said, oh, if you love God, then you will love the person. So all the scriptures, they kind of bring the concept of God while they're talking about love. So I think that starting point, that whenever somebody is doctrinating your mind about a specific religion, about love, they're kind of seeping that thought of God. They don't kind of elucidate the fact that you love the person next to you, only then will you be able to find God or something like that. The first word of most of the scriptures, I'm not saying all the scriptures, most of the scriptures, they start with, if you love God, only then you love the person next to you. I think it should be together. It should not be mutually exclusive. They should be mutually conjoined into each other, because if only I love you, I'll be able to see the purest form of the superior power in that form of love. To me, that is pure love, right?
Yeah.
I hope I made some sense there. And that brings me to the next question that we have today on the table is, you know, in today's time, and I think this animosity, this kind of negativity is growing when we say, why is religion more than often a deal breaker when it comes to, sharing your love with someone else from a different faith? Why does religion have a difficult time per se, or why is it a bit difficult to love someone from the other faith? Harita, we'll start with you first.
Yeah, I've asked myself that question a lot in the past few years, because personally, I don't see religion being a deal breaker, but I know some people that have married people from a different religion, and I've seen how difficult it's been for their respective families. And so, from seeing that on the outside, I've asked myself, why is it so difficult for their families to accept the person that they love, regardless of the religion they're from? And I think it's because, you know, religion is a very big part of some people's life. And if your child meets someone from a different religion, when they grow up and they date them and they want to marry them, then you feel like everything you've believed in your whole life is no longer true anymore. Now, I might be completely wrong because personally I have not been through this, but that's how I understand it. For example, I have a friend who is Hindu, and he is married to someone that is Muslim. And I know that it took his parents a while to accept his now wife. They dated for quite a few years before getting married.
Yeah.
It took his parents a long time to accept her, but they knew that our son is happy with her, so we have to learn to accept it. It took them time to accept it, but they committed to learning to accept it. And her parents also found it very hard to accept him. And I always wondered, of them on a friend level, and I think he's such a lovely person, she's such a lovely person, what's to hate about each other? But I think, when you are brought up in a religion like Islam, it's very ingrained in who you become as a person as you're growing up. And I think if you meet someone from a different religion, it just questions everything you've believed in. If I talk about myself, I see I'm Hindu, but I'm born and brought up in New Zealand, so I'm not a very Indian Hindu in some ways. I don't go to the temple often, and I don't do a lot of religious things, but I also grew up not always, but quite often being told by my parents and my extended family, you have to marry an Indian when you grow up, you have to marry an Indian. And when I was younger, I just used to say, oh yeah, whatever. But as I got older, personally, I started thinking, yeah, I think I want to only marry an Indian or a Sri Lankan, because I think I share more things in common with them than I would with someone from a different ethnicity. But I never actually I never asked myself what would happen if I married someone from a different religion. For me, it was always, I have to marry an Indian or a Sri Lankan. But I mean, India has got so many religions: Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, Christian, anything under the sun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm married to a Hindu, but I don't think I would have questioned my beliefs too much, because as long as you know you're a good person at the end of the day, the other person's religion shouldn't matter. But I think the religion thing becomes a lot of a problem when you're talking about your wider family and wider society, because when you're bringing someone from a different religion, it's the perception of what everyone else will think.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I don't know if I've explained myself very well, and I know this is a very sensitive topic, so I don't want to say anything that could offend anyone, but these are my thoughts on this interreligious marriage and how it can be a deal breaker for some people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We've got some good insights in what you said, and it's good that you could relate to your friends and how they've been kind of, dealing with their relationship. We'll move on to Shomita. Shomita, what is your idea behind this notion that religion comes in the way when people are moving across faiths and trying to love each other?
Yeah. So in when I think about it, I feel that religion is very tricky. As you said, Chris, before that, when we read about religions, most of them say that okay, you have to love God. Although when I went through, I am a Hindu, so when I went through Gita and Upanishad, so I could see that they have very clearly mentioned there that we have to love each other because God is present in everyone, in every tiny being.
Yes.
So and when I haven't read Bible or Quran, so I don't know exactly what's written there. But when I have read about them, people saying about them, so I have seen that they also say that you have to love each other. God is in everyone. So this entire thing is very contradicting. See, every religion is saying we have to love and respect each other, yet people belonging to different religion find it difficult to accept each other.
Yeah.
So this entire thing is very contradicting to each other. That's what I feel. So I don't think personally that religion is a deal breaker in case of love, because in my personal opinion love is above religion. Love
Mm.
is something divine and it cannot be restricted by anything that is man-made.
Mm.
That's what I feel.
Mm.
And if there are conditions attached to love, be it being a religion or money or whatever, then it's not love anymore. It's something else. It's like a contract or deal or something, not love.
Mm.
But in case of marriage, it may be a deal breaker. I would say it's different in case of marriage, because now in my early 30s and being married for 4 years, I would say after marriage, a lot of things changes and there are a lot of surprises. So it is better to avoid known complications.
Mm.
I would explain a bit more on this. For example, I love eating fish and meat. Now, if I fall in love with someone who is vegetarian due to religious reasons and I get married to that person, maybe that person won't stop me from eating meat. But every time I eat, in the back of my mind, I will be thinking, oh, my partner isn't liking this.
Mm.
Even if I can get over the discomfort, if I cook something I love, my partner won't be able to enjoy it, and that will limit my joy. Same thing goes on with cultural celebrations. Now that it's Durga Puja time of the year, I would love to go to Kolkata and do go for pandal hopping with my partner, which is like a cultural thing for Bengalis. And if he enjoys doing that, it's well and good. Doesn't matter which religion he belongs to. I really personally don't care. If he's happy and enjoying with me, it's all good. But if he says that I won't stop you from going there, but I can't come, that won't make me feel good. I won't like that. Marriage is not about a human rights contest where we can decide on, okay, being a human we can do this and that. It's about doing things together. We have to enjoy together. And another example, if I have to explain something to my, I would like to give reference to a mythological story that I have heard all my life and which belongs to a particular culture or a particular religion.
Yep.
And if I have to explain it to him, then maybe before delivering that small message, I would have to go through a lot of pain. And these small little things becomes very difficult when this keeps happening in day-to-day life, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah.
And also see, marriage is primarily union of two people, but it in a way involves two families. So I remember when I was single, my mom told me, find a guy who speaks our mother tongue, otherwise it will be difficult for me to bond with him comfortably. And I thought, yes, that makes sense. Two people need to understand each other in order to be into a relationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there are too many factors to marriage, and yes, religion is kind of a deal breaker for me until it's like an absolute case, exceptional case that where families say that okay, we believe in humanity, we are happy to accept the way you are, we are not trying to convert you, just be who you are, and we are happy with you. Then it's all good. But being a woman, I would say we need to be extra careful because we may see the rosy picture saying humanity is our religion, and right
Yeah,
before
yeah,
marriage and right after marriage, before you even realize, your wardrobe would have changed. So, so it's tricky.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would kind of say yes and no to that because if I'm talking about love, doesn't always have to mean that I'm talking about marriage per se. I'm just talking about pure love or getting to know the journey I walk with my person next to me. And I think somewhere religion plays a part that it is, as Haritha mentioned, it is so ingrained in our systems, right from day zero. Like the minute a child is born out of the mother's womb, he's branded, he's stamped with the name, the father's name, the religion. And that's where this all, that all process of inner construction, destruction starts, that you just cannot come out of that sphere. And for me, I think that is possible. You can break from the circle because if you have that mindset, if you look for a person, for the person he is, not necessarily attaching with his family name, with his caste, or what religion he follows. Because I have seen people, as Harita's friends, they're not my friends, but I've seen other friends who've had this relationship where two people came from different faiths, and there was a lot of room for understanding each other better. There was a scope of understanding and knowing the person every day. You have so much space to understand that person day in, day out. Each person comes with his own bag of functions or, procedures or religious lessons that you can follow. And basically, it's a lot of room for growth, inner growth, self growth, mutual growth, whatever. I think it all depends on the mindset. If you want to make it work with the person next to you, and if you realize that person actually loves you, it has a genuine love and respect for you, everything can work. Religion plays a very tiny role. If you open the house to allow yourself and your kids to practice whatever religion they want to, that can lead to a very, very beautiful and a very forward moving relationship. At this point of time in the 21st century, when people are killing each other for almost anything, I think this message has to go out that no matter what religion you follow, there has to be room for compassion and understanding. If I give you room that, okay, fine, you are Hindu, you're a Jew, Parsi, whatever, you're free to follow your own practice. I am free to follow my own practice without having to forcefully convert into each other's religion. I think that's the best way. And I don't have to convert to prove my love to anyone. My love stands above everything. If I love that person, it stands and it says, it proves my devotion to that person, right? So there's no question for forceful conversion. So I think somewhere religion does play that part of breaking humanity away because we have branded each one of us as a different sect. That's where we have kind of caused that man-made bridge among us that, oh, you are a human, but you're from that group, so you're not similar to me because our schools of thought will differ. So that being said, a lot of work has to be done on that. Moving on, the recent advertisement that we're talking about, the Tanishq ad, it was a beautiful ad. Two people came together, and this mother-in-law was celebrating her daughter-in-law's baby shower ceremony, although they were a Hindu-Muslim arrangement. That advertisement was taken down a few days later, and Tanishq had to issue an apology letter or something. On that note, why is our society still not accepting of the fact of love across multiple faiths? Harita, why do you think that's happening even now?
Yeah, I think the problem is that a lot of people do accept it, but the people that are not accepting it are more vocal about it. So their voice ends up being more heard than the people that are accepting it. Now, how do I explain this? Because we've got, social media and everything, you post something on Facebook and the whole world knows about it soon. their voices end up being more heard than those families that are accepting interracial and interreligious marriages. Because just like all the time, people will voice their opinion when it's bad news, but when it's good news, people don't talk about it, right? So again, I'll use my Hindu friend that's married to a Muslim woman. They're happily married. That's a good story, which maybe in my parents' generation, I don't know if that marriage would have ever gone ahead, because the Muslim lady she's not even Indian Muslim. She's like Iranian Muslim. But then stories like that just kind of go under the rug because it's a good news story. No one wants to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
But when it's a bad news story, the whole world finds out, like the Tanishq advert and all of that. And the good news stories, they make it to Facebook and stuff, but no one pays attention. So I think a lot of the world is accepting interreligious marriage a lot more than they used to. But then there's that small portion that don't, and it's their voices that keep getting heard. And at the same time, the population of the world is getting more and more than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. So with more people in the world, you've got more opinions as well, and that's probably why there's more problems in the world too. And I think also the problem with the reason why a lot of people are against Muslims, and again, I don't want to offend anyone, but in the last 20 years, almost every terrorist attack in the world has been done by Muslim people. And so now people that are not Muslim seem to have this thought in their mind, all Muslim people are bad, which is the worst stereotype you can have.
Yeah.
I have got so many Muslim friends, and they are some of the nicest people I have ever met in my life.
Yep.
But people have this thing, terrorism was started by Muslims, so Muslims are not good.
Yeah.
Just the biggest stereotype you could ever come up with. So I think in the last 20 years, or since 9/11 anyway, that's been the main reason why people hate Muslims. Because even if the girl you're marrying is good, somebody in her family might be bad. You just silly things like this that people will say.
But I would like to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you short. I think we need to put it on the table. You just mentioned that there's so many people, we've been kind of expanding on our population demographics, right? And negative views are put out more than positive views. But that advertisement in Tanishq had a very positive view that they were promoting love across faith. So why was that negative shout so loud that it overshadowed the positivity and forced that company to come down with the advertisement? Why is this still happening? We are a population, we meaning people back in India, are a population of 1.35 billion and counting, right? Why do we still have that hatred in 21st century?
I think Tanishq was probably just being cautious. Because I also read somewhere a few days ago that a few Tanishq stores had vandalism and everything done.
Yeah.
So, it's a big company, so they probably just thought, there's a lot of angry people, so we better just get rid of the ad, because what if, no offense, but people in India can be known to cause fires here, there, and everywhere if they're angry, right? Or fires, vandalism, everything. So they probably just thought, we don't want to face any lawsuits or any trouble, let's just get rid of the ad, so its problem is solved, right? I think from a corporate perspective, that's what they would have been thinking, because most large companies in the world kind of think that way. If there's negative media or some court case or something, we just have to get rid of the bad thing, otherwise the problem's going to keep getting worse. So I don't think Tanishq as a company wanted to remove the ad, but because all these people all of a sudden hated the ad, they probably just thought it's the safest thing to do just to keep the peace.
Yeah.
And then again, because of that, because the ad got removed, the fact that the ad got removed makes it to social media. Why did the ad get removed? Social media. So it causes all this discussion again, which is why the negative outweighed the positive. To be honest, I had never even seen that ad until I heard it had been removed. So all of a sudden, I knew all the bad stuff before I'd even seen the actual ad. So that's how probably the bad part of social media, that's what you end up finding out, right? You only know about something because something bad has happened.
Such times we are living, right? We
Yeah.
get to know about things, good things, by the negativity people spread around it. We'll move on to you, Shomita. What is your whole take about this society being still not accepting to multiple faith, love across multiple faiths?
Yeah, see, I think society has different agendas. So, for example, in case of the Tanishq ad, people who were shouting against it, they had something in their mind which has really nothing to do with religion. That's what at least I feel. The agenda can be political, can be something else, but it has nothing to do with faith, because faith can't be linked with violence in my perspective. So yeah, so if we just come to our next door neighbors, then I would say they have nothing to do with you or as an or any individual. Your neighbors doesn't care about your happiness. If you are into a cross religion marriage, they are bitching about you because they are just bored of their life and they finally got something that is unusual in normal circumstances. At least that happens in West Bengal, where I come from, at least in Kolkata. There is a high chance there. In Kolkata, people won't mind whom you're marrying. I know a few couples who are where the guy is Brahmin and he's married to a Muslim and they're happily married for over a decade now. And their families are quite accepting, so there was no problem there. Another couple, they're even in Melbourne. The guy is a Muslim and the girl is Hindu. And I didn't even know the fact that they are of different faiths in spite of knowing them for years. That is because they both come from Kolkata and people there are more Bengali than being Hindu or Muslim. The culture is same, religion may not. So it's hard to find out. But there are many cases, even all over India, where honor killing is a thing in case of cross faith marriage or love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why people have so much hatred. I think it's more of ego and status issue, and this has nothing to do with faith. Because in sane mind, if you believe there is a superpower, then you can't hate another person to the point that you would kill that person. It's just not possible
Mm.
when I think when I put myself in that place.
Yeah.
So all these things happening in the name of religion are just man-made propaganda. For example, in India, there are many people. It's no shame in saying that there is a shortage of job openings. So many people don't have job. So these people who are poor and they maybe I don't know how much understanding they have of religion, faith, God, or whatever. Maybe they have, maybe they don't. But for the sake of getting food or for the sake of having a job, they submit to people who are misusing the mass for spreading wrong message. That's what I think is going on, and there is nothing related to religion or anything there. It's just propaganda that's going on.
I, I think it's a long, long maintained thought process that since we have been told that we cannot gel with that any other sect, we will not gel with that. So that has been taken as a granted documentation that we cannot gel with them, they cannot gel with them. And by them, I mean any religion. Because I think I got aware of this situation the first time we got to know of this Priyanka Todi case happening in West Bengal in 2011, I think, if I'm not wrong. That
Priyanka
was
Modi.
Priyanka Tori, and her father was Ashok Tori. They were the owners of this famous branding company. I'm forgetting the name, but cutting the long story short for our listeners, she was a Hindu and she got married to a Muslim man.
Yes, I remember the case.
They loved each other, and after a few days, the dead body of the man was found near the railway tracks.
Mm.
And after a few days, the girl was sent away overseas, and the case was hushed up, and everything was closed down. That was the first time I got to know about this intense hatred against a caste that you could probably get your own daughter's husband killed. And this is not the only one, because a lot of these cases happen around the northern parts of India. Honor killings have been on the rampant rise. I can give you a statistics. There's been an 800% rise in honor killings in 2015, with 251 people getting killed. And by kill, you mean these are your own parents, your own brothers, killing you because you put a stain on their family repertoire in the society by planning to love the person outside your own faith.
Mm.
And when we talk about religion, this is how deep rooted religion is, that since I am Hindu, you are Parsi, you're Jain, I cannot breed the idea that yes, we can live together, we can live happily ever after. There is no possibility of that even belief cropping up in our minds. We are so deeply rooted. And it's not that honor killings are happening only in India. Honor killings are happening in other parts of the world too. I recently read up there have been a few cases in the United States. It's all coming down to one thing. It's a long thought process that, oh, sect A and sect B cannot live together. Nobody says that why can't we just give people a chance? If there is true love, if there is respect, there is no question that two people can't live together. But it's all about the societal image. What will people think about our family? How
Yeah.
could we do this to our own religious sect? So society is still averse to this idea of love across faiths, and it's a long dialogue we need to initiate, long communication we need to start before anything concrete can happen. Because of the same reason that India has a special marriage act, right, in which people from any different religion can get married. Even then, we had an 800% increase in honor killings. I think that in itself says a lot of things about how disastrous the situation is. I'll kind of wrap up myself here, and Harita, I think you have to say something. What's your
Yeah.
take on this?
It just all the facts you said just make me want to cry. End of the day, like a person is a person. If you are born into a Muslim family or a Christian family, you don't control what type of family you're born into. To be honest, a lot of Muslim people these days are not practicing Muslims. Yes, they are Muslim, but so they live just like every other person. Me, I'll talk from my personal experience quickly for a couple of minutes. I'm Hindu, but I don't go to the temple very often. I only go if there's, Navratri or some type of festival, and even then, I only go if my other friends are going. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't religiously go. But I know I am Hindu. But so what? I guess I've never dated a Muslim person, but I have dated someone that was Christian before. This was when I was much younger, so it was just, no one took it very seriously. But even back then, my mom kind of said, make sure your dad doesn't find out. And, just little things like that, you kind of think, oh, okay. Um, and my personal situation of this, like I guess intercaste would be the
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
word. I once dated someone for about 2.5 years who was also Gujarati, like me, Gujarati Hindu, but was from a slightly higher caste than me. So Gujarati people have a very strict caste system, which to this day a lot of Gujaratis still follow. And he was a higher caste than me. So back in the day, hundreds of years ago, their caste was quite wealthy, and my caste is quite not at the bottom, but in the middle somewhere. But these days, that means nothing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your wealth is based on whatever job you have now, not because of the caste you're in. And when we dated for about 2.5 years, his family constantly said to him they never wanted to meet me because I'm a lower caste and I would bring shame to their family if we ever
Yeah.
got married. This was over 10 years ago, so I was only at university. So that was my kind of personal experience of this whole dating someone from a
Yeah.
different background. I know he was not Muslim or Christian, he was Hindu.
Mm.
And we were both born and brought up in New Zealand. So in my mind, and my parents accepted him, but in my mind, I kind of thought, your parents should be happy you've at least found someone Hindu since we've grown up in New Zealand. But to his parents, that was never enough. They wanted someone from the exact same caste as them. So basically, you had to have the same surname, otherwise, you would bring shame to the family.
Yeah.
Or they had no problem with him marrying someone from a higher caste. But because I
Not the lower one.
unfortunately was born to a lower caste, I would bring shame.
Yeah.
So that I guess, you could kind of translate that into caste, into religious type of thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I have a word to coin all this problem, but I'll summarize it at the end. I'll move on to Shomita quickly. Shomita, you had to add something on to it?
Yeah, just it's sad, Harita, that you had to go through this caste issue. Uh, my marriage is also intercaste. My husband is Brahmin, which is like the highest in Hindu ladder, and I am caste. But no one bothered, like everyone was happy about it. So I was lucky enough that I was able to get through a intercaste marriage. And on Chris's point that people are killing their daughters, sisters,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sons, I think it's more of like a ego clash that my child is not listening to me, because it's not only for intercaste or interreligion marriage. I have seen many cases where just people don't accept that their children are going ahead with a love marriage. They just don't
Yeah,
allow it.
yeah,
They
yeah,
will just kill right away.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I think that the problem is much deeper than religion, because religion is still, maybe it's deep rooted, that's true,
Mm.
but I don't know, like I sometimes feel that even if we take out religion, it's still a problem. Yeah.
See, there are two things as I see it, and I'll not be too long. One is the deep-rooted issue of religion, obviously, because in our countries and many other countries, like all the Western countries, Christianity, it's a strong belief, Hinduism, Islam. The other problem is this: we being social animals, we are very dependent on others' perception of us, our
Correct.
families. What we think, what they would think about our kids. Nobody wants to let our kids be themselves. Nobody wants to ask our kids, who are you happy with, right? All we want to know is, you're going to do it because it's going to save my image.
Yeah.
That's it, that's all. And we have a long way to come out of it. The way when I say, all right, you love that person from XYZ religion or caste, please stay happy with them as long as you can. First of all, there's no question of asking what religion that person is from. If you love each other, that's it. That should be all. That's the mindset, but we are far, far, far away. We are progressing, but we are still far away from it.
Mm.
This was a very engaging conversation, and I hope our listeners will have some questions to come back with us for, or they'll have some amazing feedback. We would love to hear from you. In the end, I would kind of like to now close up the entire conversation. If we have to wrap up, guys, so I'll come to Harita first. Just give us one line or, half a sentence on how do you think this issue is kind of taken up, and how do you think we should probably talk about it in the future?
I think what people need to learn is they need to try to understand each other and get to know each other rather than just judging a book by its cover.
Very well said. Very well said, Harita. Shomata, moving on to you.
Yeah, I would say don't restrict yourself in the name of religion or anything. Just try to fall in love, because I think love happens once in a
Yep,
lifetime or rarely in a lifetime. So let's just focus on enjoying that part and don't worry much.
exactly. And I will just close up by saying three little things. One in line with what Shomita said, and this is what something I've read, that if you find a person who really, really loves you, never let that person go, no matter what is the background story, as long as that good person is good at heart. Secondly, for me, humanity is above everything. I can love a person from whatever caste, creed, religion he is. I can still love that, and that person can love me, and that is how we breed a normal functioning family. And the last part, for all the wider society out there, we know we are still attached to the fact of cultural homophily. We want to get attached to people who share same religious thoughts like us, because that's where we get bonded. But it's time to kind of take a step out of that bigger circle and try to kind of involve with other people to get that bigger engagement. Because in the end, we are all humans made of blood, sweat, and the same flesh. All the other things are just man-made tags. Let's just get rid of the tags, yeah? I know it's a difficult conversation, but we would love to have it with any of our listeners who might be interested to talk to us. On that note, we are available on Gmail as coconutchats@gmail.com. For any of your thoughts, ideas, feedbacks, please write to us. We shall be waiting for your comments. You can also reach us at Facebook with the same name. And please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Coconut Chats. Having said that, we look forward to listening from you very soon. We'll be back soon with another interesting episode. Hope you like our conversations engaging. Please write to us. Till then, stay safe, stay well, and keep spreading love around you. We need that. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye bye.